I told you we're going to be on time today. We're going to be on time today on IG and YouTube. Welcome to Talk Live. We are back for another week. We are here. I tell you, I keep seeing myself everywhere and people saying, oh, I like your show. I like your show. I've seen your show. I like your show all this week, and I appreciate the support. Let's get those subscribers up. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Link in the description, and Spring Summer line out now, people. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are here in summer gear, yes, and I'm wearing a little bit of them, jogging shorts because I thought it'd be comfortable tonight. I thought I'd get comfortable tonight because you need to get comfortable because there are going to be a few facts coming your way that need to be elucidated. Say hello to my YouTube crowd here and say hello to my Instagram crowd right here on me as I'm a week away from my birthday. Yeah, a week away from the birthday. Still in the 40s, but you know what I'm saying. All is well and all is good. And thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Lively weekend? Yeah, I would say so. I would say I was in the gym a bit, definitely. Trying to get ready for Mass. As you know, I'm playing Mass this year, so shout out to Toronto Revelers. And Life is a Carnival section, which is what I'll be a part of, and a lot of my friends will be a part of, so it's going to be a good old time. And I need to get in shape for it, so that's what I've been doing. I've been cutting, I've been dieting, I've been working my ass off, getting my 8 hours of cardio last week, which is amazing. As we move, and we are here, and my Jays are in the background as all per usual. They're up 2-0, but tonight on Talk Live, I have to we have to discuss a very, very, very taboo topic, especially in this month of Pride. Happy Pride to all those who celebrate, and yeah, there's been a bit of a misconception going around in the black community. We're just going to get right into it. We're going to get straight to it. Black men on the down low. It has been the taboo subject. It has been the refraining talking point of a lot of black women over the last 40 to 50 years, in that there are not enough black men to go around because a lot of them are on the down low. That's what's been said to us from time immemorial. Well, I would say the last 40 to 50 years because, again, as marriages have gone down in the black community and marriages among black women have gone down, especially with regard since the fact that black women are the least married within all groups in the in the United States and more or less in the African diaspora in the developed world. Sorry, not the African diaspora, in the developed world. In the West, to be fair. It is something that black women have always stated to justify the reason why they're not married. They're not married because there are too many gay men out there and they are not attracted to black women. That's what we've heard over and over and over again. Well, in this month of Pride, I thought, you know what? Let's test that theory. Let's go into the facts, data, and statistics, as my man Kevin Samuels, R.I.P. Godfather, would say. Let's go into it. Let's see if indeed that is indeed the case. And in delving in the numbers, a few surprises came up. And we're going to discuss those tonight on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Still on. More shorts to come. More small posts to come on YouTube, and we're gonna do it like that because, again, yeah, I've been promising, and I am not going to give up on that promise. So look out for it. But let's go into it. Let's get into it right now. We have our man. Let me get into the browser chat right here, as we do. There we are, and we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna see our man, Medium Man. Yes, indeed. Let me tell you something about Medium Man. Medium Man is a friend of mine. He is a hardworking gentleman, a doctor in the United States, to be fair, and he is thrashing them in these YouTube streets. He is sending these, black women and those who protect black women running for the hills for speaking out of turn with regards to black men. And I am a fan. I am such a fan. So please subscribe to Media Man. he is doing wonderful bang-up work and trying to level the playing field on these YouTube streets because, as you know, YouTube is a male algorithm, and, you know, they respond to female content, as you do. And, it's very hard for a man to make it on these YouTube streets, but he is doing a wonderful work. So shout out to my man, Medium Man. And he had a post, and he had a great show yesterday. And it was entitled, If Black Men Were Better Leaders, Black Women Would Follow. That was the entirety of the show, and it touched on a range of topics, including this one. Which is if black men are indeed on the down low, because it has always been the usual trope, it has always been the usual refrain, it has always been the usual stick with which to beat us, that there are not enough black men out there because they are gay and on the down low. Had to clap that out for translation for all my female friends out there. Shout out to you. And happy Pride. So, my man Medium Man went into it and delved into the facts and a few studies, especially in the United States, and I would say that would, extrapolate over the length and breadth of the Western world, the developed world, and say, you know what? Are these facts are indeed true, especially in the United States, because that's usually the parameters to which we would judge said theories and if indeed they are indeed facts. But we're going to get into it right now. Let me expand this page right here to see Medium Man. Let him go into it, and we're going to get into it and talk live. Thank you very much for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go!
Topic, which is Rebecca Lynn Pope's main issue with black men for some odd reason. Hold on. It was funny listening. We was listening to this offline, and I was like, man, she got an issue. But let's get to the next topic. Here we go.
Men are in crisis.
Wait, hold on. I don't want to play that one yet. I don't want to go back over. Let's start here.
The most homophobic people ever in our community.
She said, if you guys didn't hear that, she said black women are some of the most homophobic people in our community. Did I say that right? Homophobic people in our black community. Let's continue.
Black women are more homophobic than gays. Y'all call heterosexual men gay for everything that they do that they don't include women in. Can't have fun, can't talk on the phone, can't hold an umbrella, can't do shit. As soon as you exclude women from the fucking equation, they automatically gay.
You take out the men who are on the down low, gay, pretending to be straight, but ain't never gonna marry a woman. Or if they do, they're bearding, faking, fronting, whatever. I'm in the gym the other morning. Black men working out. All right. A good third.
If you don't hear it on Talk Live, that is Ms. Lynn Pope, Miss Carolyn Lynn Pope. I forget the first name, but she is a dating coach, and she has theorized that the reason for the lack of black men out there is indeed falling. The excuse is black men are on the down low or gay, and therefore it leaves a relatively thin amount of black men out there, eligible black men, that are of dating/marriage age for black women. And your mother said it to you, your daddy said, well, not your daddy. Your mother said it to you, your auntie said it to you, your sister said it to you, your female friend said it to you, your girlfriend said it to you, your wife said it to you. The time of more, there aren't enough black men to go around because they're all damn gay. Well, there are a lot of them are gay. So, I'll let her continue.
To half the black men I see in the gym are gay. Everywhere I look, it is gay black men.
I don't know what black women have against gay black men. Their relationship is crazy to me because on one hand, black women will champion gay black men. They'll get their hair done by gay black men. They'll call them my gay bestie. but then you turn around and shame them specifically for working out in the gym, right? And then I don't know how that relationship dynamic works again with black women and gay black men, because it seems like gay black men don't have a problem with it. How black women describe them in the black community when they're trying to shame heterosexual black men. It's a weird dynamic that I'm still trying to figure out how that works, but it's not heterosexual black men's fight. I think gay black men have to take that up with black women, right? I don't know what they have to do, but I'm pretty sure when I put these statistics out, black women gonna be like, oh man, he's just saying that he's a black man. Of course he gonna say that. But you know what I did? I went and got the actual interview from the women who did the Williams Institute study at UCLA. Do you guys know what race those women are? Let me show you real quick. Let me show you something.
American Medical Association and our Minority Affairs section. And
just to let you know, he is right. Before we get into it, the experts to which he is calling on to verify these LGBTQ statistics were black women. I believe they were lesbian black women, to be fair. So there is no bias. There is no skewing of numbers. These are actual numbers. This is what it is. This is what it is, guys. So if they're telling the truth, you know what? Shame the devil. Shame the devil, because these are going to be hard to refute because they're coming from a black woman, right? Anyway, but he's right. The fact that, going back to what Mr. Media Man was saying, in that a lot of black women have gay black friends. But the fact of the matter is, because they have gay black male friends, what happens is they take those gay black friends, the fact that they're in proximity to a lot of them, and in turn say to their heterosexual paramours or friends or whatever, that because of these gay black friends that they have, that shortens the pool so much that they can't find men. Not only for themselves, but for their friends. There's just not enough black men to go around. And we, as a society, as a community, as the diaspora, have hung on to this. I wouldn't say in the African diaspora, but definitely in the North American and the West diaspora. We have hung on to this lazy trope for the last, as I said, 40 to 50 years. But we're going to set it right tonight. We're going to set it up right tonight. So we're going to get into it. Let's go. Let's get in there.
Advisory Committee on LGBTQ Issues. Welcome, everybody, and good evening.
Sorry, the whole get into it pause. That is a pause. That is a pause. I'm saying a pause. Okay, go.
I'm Dr. Leanne Roberts, a member of the AMA Advisory Committee on LGBTQ Issues, where I serve as the GLENMA representative. And in the past, I've served as the medical student section for the AMA.
Okay. That's Dr. Leanne Roberts. She headed the Williams Institute study to do research and to figure out how many gay black men, LGBTQ members, were in the black community. So, this is not coming from me. This is coming from your sisters, right? So pay attention. It's a black woman, very educated black woman. Whole bunch of educated black women on this study. They did it for you all, just so you can understand how many gay black men and women are actually in the black community. Oh, let's continue.
Well, he has a right to that, because remember, you can't start any sort of movement, be it civil rights or any sort of veritable study, without black women heading it these days. Right? Only to be verifiable, just saying. Okay, where we go?
I practice obstetrics and gynecology in the Quad Cities, serving patients on the Illinois and Iowa border. I'm pleased to be joining you and our speakers today as we explore the intersection of race, sexual orientation, and gender identity, and what that means for the health and well-being of Americans who identify as both Black and LGBTQ. Our AMA's strategic plan to embed racial justice and advance health equity sets forth a dedicated,
Just going through a
coordinated, and
disclaimer,
honest
just
approach
to let you
and
know where
recognizing that getting
the
to equity
study
and
lies
justice
in,
means
you know,
centering and integrating
entails.
the
So,
voices and ideas of the historically marginalized and leveraging change via relationships and networks, data and research, communication, education, and policy and advocacy.
So right there, she was just explaining all the initiatives and all the studies and research that they did to get these numbers. This was very extensive. I'm pretty sure they do this every year now. So this is the most updated. I believe this is from 2022, and it was just updated in 2023. So,
and I bet they got government funding for it. So you know this is legit. This ain't no, flash in the pan. You know, when it comes to LGBTQ rights, and hey, government's right behind it. They are right behind it. So you know this is government funding involved with this study. Happy Pride.
black women who have an issue with gay black men, y'all need to pay attention to this, right?
Recognizing that we all come to equity and justice with potentially different life experiences and levels of understanding, our discussion this evening includes data and demographics, experiences and voices, and openness and authenticity. To lead our discussion, I'm pleased to introduce our panelists. Bianca Wilson, PhD, is the Rabbi Zaki Senior Scholar of Public Policy.
Okay, let's just get straight into it because this is going a little long.
And I completed it with my colleagues Sue Q. Choi and Christy Mallory. So just an overview, but obviously if anyone has questions about other elements of the report, happy to get into that as well. So
what does that say there, guys? What does that say right there at the top? Let me pull that back up real quick. What does that say? 1.2 million U.S. adults identify as black and LGBT. 1.2 million. That's not black men. That's every black adult, right?
Right. So he's showing us a map. If you're watching us on Instagram, he's showing us a map basically, and you can see it here on YouTube, where it shows that 1.2 million adults, men and women, identify as LGBTQ. So I think it's about 14 million. Let's see about that. African American population in the United States. I think it's about 13 million. Just going through it on Talk Live right here, just quickly. Yeah, 41 million. There you go. African American population in the U.S. is actually 41 million, and that was done in the last census of 2020. So 1.2 million. So it's about 2 or 3%. If you think about it, let's do the math here quickly. Let me get a calculator out, and there we go. Oh no, that's the calendar. Sorry for that. Let's get that out of there. Let's do the calculator. So it's about 1.2 million. Yep, we're going to do it all here, boys and girls. 1.2 divided by... Oh, yes. There we go. I forgot the tabs right here. Divided by 40. Let me see. Is it 36? Oh, that's the population of the United States. I think it's 40 million anyways. So, 40 million as of 2020. So that's about, 3%. 3% of the population of the African American community identify as LGBTQ. That's 2021. Now, again, that could waver maybe by a small a mini percentage, if not a whole percentage, but you get the picture. So 3% of the African American community, 3% of the African American community, all of it, men and female, identify as LGBTQ. So that there is strike one against African American men all being down low and gay. Because if only 3% of the African American community in the United States identify as LGBTQ and you take into account men and women, then you're taking a very, very small percentage of African American males who are gay. But we're not done there. You continue on with the study. I just wanted to let you know, I'm all about the fascinating statistics. So it's only 3% of the population of men and women. And if you divide it in half, you'd say about 1% are actually men who are actually out and gay / bisexual. Or pansexual. Or whatever. Wherever you come under the LGBTQ banner. Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
And there's about, 42 to 44 million black adults living in the United States? So
3%.
1.2 million
3%.
of that number of the 42, 44 million black people living in the United States consider themselves LGBTQ, right? I'm gonna let her cook.
One of the things we identified, and here we primarily use data from the Gallup daily tracking poll across several years of data together. And from that, we get an estimate that there are approximately more than 1.2 million adults in the U.S. that identify as both Black and as LGBT. And so what I think is also striking about a map like this showing, where Black LGBT adults are is that you see they're essentially where Black non-LGBT adults are. So, this is a community, a population that's distributed across the U.S. And largely is where other Black folks are. And I think, outside of like a slight trade-off maybe between the South and the West Coast, it's important for folks to remember that when we start talking about LGBT folks, including Black LGBT folks in particular, we don't all of a sudden just start talking about New York, Chicago, and LA, and San Francisco, that we really are talking about folks that are across the U.S.
So just stopping there on Talk Live, you can see it. You can see it there on YouTube, but I'll let you know for those who are my friends on Instagram who don't know. 1.2 million of 42, 43 million African Americans, that's 3%, just above 3% of the African American population are deemed African American population together, not men, together, are deemed as Black and LGBTQ2S. Now, most of them can be found, if you see on this chart, you can see it on Talk Live on YouTube, that 56% of them are within the southern states, the southern-eastern states, or should I say below the Mason-Dixie line. So the adage that more or less Black men are, more or less Black, gay people or men are to be found within the South, that is absolutely true. 56% of them can be found in the South. In the old South, the old 13-state South. Most of them, and not found in major cities. Now, again, the North has 19%, Midwest is about 16%, and about 10% out West. So, to say that all of the African-American community are found in, places like San Francisco and New York and Miami and the big cities, is a bit of a misnomer because, again, the greater the Black population, as it is in the South, the greater the amount of African Americans who identify as LGBTQ. Now, again, we use the African American community as a staple because, again, it is where you find the most openly gay individuals, I would say, in the world. Africa is pretty much, still a somewhat no-go zone in terms of LGBTQ community, outside of a few countries, such as South Africa and et al. But for the most part, Africans and the gay issue and the LGBTQ issue is very, very much a no-go taboo subject. And so that is not where you're going to find the true essence of the African diaspora being out and gay. You'll find it in the United States. So we use that as our study. So let's continue.
So a little bit about, the sample,
So this chart right here, I want to explain this. So they're breaking it down by age demographics. So let me, she's going to explain it, but I want to do my part just to make sure you guys understand what is going on here. So
Get a
you
drink.
see here in the yellow, that is the Black LGBTQ community. The blue is the Black non-LGBTQ. So if you look here, the yellow is higher than the blue, which is the non-LGBTQ population. So from ages 18 to 24, there are more LGBTQ Black members than not, right? And also from 25 to 34, there are more LGBTQ Black members than not. And then you start to see a change. From 35 to what is that, 49, you start to see more heterosexual people. And then you start going up, 14% LGBTQ, 25% for non-LGBTQ. And then right here, 65 plus, 6% to, 13%, right? So the millennials, there's more LGBTQ members than, the boomers and whoever else, right? So she's going to explain it a little bit more, but I just wanted to give my thoughts and my interpretation of the data. But she's going to do an excellent job of breaking this down.
Just before she gets into it, if you haven't seen it on Talk Live, yes, as Media Man pointed out, 30% of African Americans who deem themselves as LGBTQ, a part of the LGBTQ community, are found within the ages of 16 to 24. So a lot more Zennials are coming out as, bisexual, polyamorous, lesbian, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual. You're gonna find that a lot more, especially with the younger, with the older audience, because again, it's less of a taboo to come out as you are younger these days than ever before, and you'll find that, and so 30% of them being 30% of the LGBTQ community in the United States, African American community are within the age of 16 to 24. 27% of them are those millennials, 25 to 34. Then you go, and then it goes precipitously further down as you get older. 31 to 43 are 23%. 35 to 49, are 23% identify as LGBTQ, part of the LGBTQ community. Sorry about that. 50 to 64, 14%, and 65 plus 6%. So the older you get, the less gay population you'll find. And that is, that's typical because again, it's not so much, it was frowned upon at that time when you're 65, 50 to 64, 35 to 49 to be gay. Not so much as the younger you are. So again, more people are going to identify as such. And again, more or less people are going to identify themselves as, here's a hint, bisexual or polyamorous, which is part of the LGBTQ community in and of itself. Call and correct me if I'm wrong, but again, the younger you are, the greater chance you'll identify yourself as LGBTQ. But again, it's only 1.2% of the population, so the majority of, 97% still consider themselves CIS gender or heterosexual. Let's continue.
Who are Black LGBT folks in terms of our demographics? One thing to keep in mind is that this is a population that skews young. And, that's the case for all LGBT groups, and it is no different among those who identify as Black. And this is important to keep in mind that, when we think about experiences with discrimination and kind of reported rates around health and education, we have to keep these kind of overall population demographics in mind. Of course, when we actually review some of the health conditions, we do control for this element of what we know in terms of how the demographics are skewed. A little bit more about the demographics of the Black LGBT population.
So let me explain this one as well. So this is the social life demographics of Black LGBTQ and non-LGBTQ, right? So what they're doing is comparing to see how many Black LGBT men and how many Black LGBT women are married, domestic partners / cohabitating, not partner, and have children, right? So if you look here, even in the LGBTQ population, there are more married black men than married black women. Just black men, LGBTQ black men are married at a 14% clip, and black women LGBTQ are married at 11% clip. So it somewhat mirrors what you see in the heterosexual population, right?
Let that sink in. It seems that of those, if you are looking at Talk Live, you're seeing the graph of where the LGBTQ population usually populate. And again, 92% of African American black men, 92% of African American LGBTQ black men populate in the cities, compared to 91% of non-LGBTQ men. Black women, 93% live in the cities, where 90% of non-LGBTQ live in the city. So again, there's a high population of those in the cities, and we already knew that. Black people usually, populate themselves within the city or within the greater city area of any major city, and a lot of them are living alone. Exactly, 32% of black men in the LGBTQ live alone, 22% non-live alone, and of black women, 18% LGBTQ live alone, and 20% not alone. Yes, of non-LGBTQ not live alone. But as Media Man already pointed out, there are more married men, as in the heterosexual community, who are married within the LGBTQ lifestyle. 14% of LGBTQ men are married, and 11% of LGBTQ women are married. So again, and that basically equals, it also it mirrors how many married men, black men there are out there, which is 38%, and 28% of black women are married, and this is non-LGBTQ. So again, more black men get married, either gay or straight. Black women, more black women. Again, black women wish to get married, but they don't, on average, over their black male counterparts. But again, and then there's domestic parenting, there's non-parent, there's non-partnered, have children. Again, black men, 22% of black men have children. 44% of black women have kids. But again, that's the only number that skews to black women. But again, the amount of single black women with black kids that are gay tend to be larger in the United States. And that's an epidemic that needs to be checked out. I wouldn't say epidemic. It's a number that needs to be checked out in full. Because again, you don't find a lot of black gay men having babies out of wedlock, and you find a whole lot of black women doing it. Over half. Just under half. 44% are LGBTQ and have children. 11% are married. Make that make sense. And remember, 45% of African American women, non-LGBTQ, have children. 28% are married. You hardly find that statistic anywhere else. Actually, you don't. That is the worst number of any racial group in the United States. That disparity. It's stark. And it speaks to something. But we'll get into it just a bit. Let it go.
So, hey, there it is. I don't know what else to tell you. And also, the black men LGBTQ, they have less children than black women LGBTQ members. It's 23% of LGBTQ black men have children, and 44% of LGBTQ black women have children. So once again, it mirrors the heterosexual community as well. Black women have more children on all fronts, whether they're straight or gay. And black men are married at a higher rate whether they're straight or gay. Did you guys know that? Let's continue.
Let that sink in. Again, black men tend to have less children living with them, of course, and are married more. While black women, and I'm not bashing you, I'm just pointing out facts, black women tend to have more children and are married less. Again, Zaddy's not here to save you. Sorry, black women, Zaddy's not here to save you. They're not saving you. Let's go.
When we look at kind of where folks are living and what their living situations are and parenthood status, we actually see, again, some areas where there's similarities, but also some differences related to gender. So if I was just going to show you like an overall table of urbanicity or whether or not people lived alone among Black LGBT people, I would be saying Black LGBT folks are more likely to be in urban areas. But here you see that's really driven by the statistic for Black women. It's slightly higher. It is significant, even though it's slightly higher. And Black LGBT.
So she was explaining this slightly higher in regards to domestic partner / cohabitating, which is true. So Black women who are living together without being married, their rate is at 16% as opposed to Black men LGBTQ members at 12%. I'm not sure why she skipped over the married, but you can only guess. Let's continue.
Folks are more likely to live alone, but that's driven a little bit more by the rate among Black men. That Black LGBT men are more likely to be living alone than Black non-LGBT.
I like to raise a point there. Media Man just reiterated and doubled down on the point that the narrator or the leader of the study here had failed to mention that African American women, either gay or straight, lesbian or straight, or part of the LGBTQ community or not, tend not to be married. Again, they're the lowest group who are married in the United States, and more or less throughout the developed world. Make that make sense? They're so strong and independent that they choose not to marry. That could be a theory. But don't say they don't have every opportunity to do so. But not bashing, just pointing out facts. Let's go.
In terms of relationship status, here we see, and not surprisingly, given what we know about LGBT populations overall, that LGBT folks are more likely to not be partnered, less likely to be legally married than non-LGBT folks, and that was consistent across gender groups. Now, what's interesting in terms of parenting status and whether or not folks have children is that, as a whole, Black LGBT folks appear to be less likely to be parents, less likely to have children in their home than non-LGBT folks. However, this is most driven by Black LGBT men. In fact, Black LGBT women have similar rates of parenting, 44-45%, as non-LGBT women. And that's also really important context when we move on to talk about economic instability and other types of kind of vulnerabilities with regard to health and social status.
All right. So I want to thank those doctors for doing that study and also putting it on video. If you guys want to see the full live stream video, it's about an hour long. They go in depth in regards to the numbers, just explaining how the Black community shakes out in regards to the LGBTQ numbers. So once again, I want to thank those educated Black women doctors for doing their job and reporting those numbers for the Black community. I love what they're doing. So let's look at some numbers real quick, guys. Let's look at the actual statistics. Let's do a deep dive real quick before I get to the super chats. So as we already know, I just stated it, And also the doctor in the video stated it as well, Dr. Wilson. 1.2 million
3%.
Black LGBTQ adults live in the United States.
1.2 million. 3%
So,
of the African
let's go a
American
little bit
community.
deeper. So if you look at the whole pie of race and well-being among LGBTQ adults, right? So what percent of LGBTQ identify in each racial group, right? So you have 10.7 here, and let's go against white people. 52.3% of white people identify as LGBTQ adults. So for Rebecca Lynn Pope to say that all she sees is gay black men, I don't know how you miss all them white people that's gay. I don't.
Yeah. Them white people must be looking black these days because the more often than not, the majority of the time, the person whom you know or identify as LGBTQ tends to be white in the United States or anywhere in the developed world. They tend to be white, not black or black male.
It's 52%, 10%. That's not just black men, but we're gonna keep going. Let me read this real quick. So, the black LGBT adult population is younger than the population of black non-LGBT adults. Over half, 57% of black LGBT adults are under age 35 compared to 34% of black non-LGBT adults. This is the kicker. The gender divide among black adults is greater for black LGBT adults, as 61% of black LGBT adults are women, compared to 56% of black non-LGBT adults who are women. So there's, in that category, or if you separate the two categories, I have to break this down so you guys can understand. They're not saying the numbers are equal between heterosexual black women and LGBTQ adult black women. They're saying that from that community of LGBTQ women, black women, and from the community of non-LGBTQ women, there's 56% as opposed to 61%. So there's more in their community, there's more of 61% of LGBTQ women than non-LGBTQ women. I know that sounds confusing, but that's the way they broke it down. But if you look here, it says the gender divide among black adults is greater for black LGBT adults. So that includes black men who are LGBT. 61% as opposed to 39% of that community is black men. So, who's more gay? It's black women. So I don't know how black men got lumped into this category to say that all she sees is black men who are gay, when overwhelmingly there are more black women who are gay than black men.
I want you to let that sink in. More than double. 61% to 39%. Well, near double. Let's say near double. Near double the amount of people who identify, 61% of people who identify as LGBTQ are women. 61%. So if you are part of that community, happy Pride, you tend to be a woman. I'll say it again for the cheap seats. If you are part of the LGBTP, okay, I'll say it again. Because this must not be lost in the sauce here. Pause. If you are part of the let's do it again. If you are part of the LGBTQ community in the United States, in the African diaspora, the chances are you're a woman. The chances are you're a woman. Not a man. Not a down low man. You tend to be a woman. 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 Just think about it. How many of your friends are actually black gay men? Think about it. I'll use myself as a guinea pig. The amount of gay men, black gay men I know, I just introduced myself to 2 of them just the other day. Just 2. Just the other day. The amount of black women who identify themselves as gay or bisexual or polyamorous, I can count them on both hands. Literally. I can count them on both hands. So to say that there are no black straight men out there is a lie. It's a big old lie. It's deflection. It's misrepresentation. It's being duplicitous. Look it up. Medium man has a right to smile. I have a right to smile. Because any of those accusations that are lodged against black men, I will literally shut it down. And so should you, black men who are watching this. Shut it down. Because those who accuse you, who tend to be women, you need to say to them, if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Because the stones you throw might be your bones, might be yourselves, my friends. The skeletons in the closet. In the closet? Happy Pride. They tend to be your own. It's like a cheating man who accuses his wife of cheating. Chances are the person who does the accusing is the one who's cheating. In this instance, the women who accuse black men of being on the down low, chances are the ones who really are on the down low are women. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that elucidating? Isn't that a great Pride? Happy Pride?
How does that happen? That woman is really chasing the bag, and she gonna get it too, because they're gonna support her. Lord. Let's go here. These are the actual numbers.
And you have the likes of Carolyn Lynn Pope purporting the fact that all these gay men, black men are out here, when they are a fraction of the population of the LGBTQ community. A fraction. A sliver. 61% to 39%. We're only a third, just above a third of the LGBTQ community in the United States / the African diaspora. And they tend to be more reduced the further you get, the closer you get to Africa. Believe me. The closer you get to Africa, the less amount of African diaspora men who consider themselves part of the community. Nothing wrong with that. But what we need to do is stop the lie that there are all these gay black men out there. Because 2/3 of the gay community, of the LGBTQ community, are women. 2/3 of them.
numbers of the black community who the share of black of people who identify as LGBT from 2012 to 2020. So if you look here, let me make that a little bit wider. Hold on, let me see something, guys. Let me go up, and this is by year. You see that? Let's see here. So this is just the whole United States. So in 2020, only 6.4% of the U.S. population identifies as LGBTQ. 6.4% of the population, right? Now, if you look here in 2021, only 6.6% of the black community identified as LGBTQ, right? And that's the percentage. The overwhelming percentage is in white people at 70%. So how does Rebecca Lynn
Rebecca Lynn Pope and her cronies within the African diaspora community literally tell us bold-faced lies when they realize that only 6% of gay male couples, are black? 6%. 3% of the African American community consider themselves gay. Part of the LGBTQ community. Slash that in half. Actually, not slash that in half. Slash that to 30% of the 1.2% of the 1.2 million of the population. You can do the math yourself. Because 61% of that 1.2 million people, that's only 3% of the population, which is about 42 to 43 million. 30% of them are male. 61% of them are women. 6.6% of gay couples are black. Most of them are white. So, and it's hard not to see the fact that, I mean, it's kind of easy to know that, there's a difference here. There's not a, you can't be colorblind. You can be colorblind all you want, but black is black, white is white. You can find that out. Just facts and statistics.
Pope miss all those white people who identify as LGBTQ, and black men somehow got blamed. 6% of the black population, and of that 6%, only 39% of black men are gay, as opposed to 61% of black women. Sheesh. That's crazy, right? And yeah, this is a good comment. Good comment, Weekend Hoodie. Let me show this. He said, y'all peeping how it's just steadily increasing. Yeah, you see that. Every time these laws change, something, it goes up. But yes, so those are the actual numbers. Let's keep going. I'm not done. So percentage of male couples in the United States. Oh, you see that right here? Black or African American, 6.6. There you go. Let's go here. I got some more. I got some ones that's going to shock y'all real quick. So this is just restating the numbers in the 6.6. Right here, this is just showing like the different age groups. As I stated before, non-Hispanic black adults. These are the figures. So they broke it down. So 12%, 18 to 34, 35.
Guys, I'll be right back. Hello?
Hey, I have a delivery for you.
Yeah, so coming out now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. I just have a delivery at the door. I'll be right back. I just have a delivery. Just a second. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I left you in suspense there for a moment. I am back. Just got a package here. Live YouTube, live Instagram. Just got a package here that is one of the finer fragrances that you'll find out there. And that is, excuse me, sorry about that, Gentle Fluidity Silver. A mean one. I highly recommend. But anyways, back to the session. Back to the story. Sorry about that. I had to get back in focus. Here we go. Back in focus. So let us continue. So I'll let this run. I'll let it run. We're back. We're back. Talk Live. We're here. Sorry for the interruption. But we are back. And here we go.
5 to 54, 4.6. 55 to 55 and up, 1.9 in the black community. Remember, this is only pulling from 1.2 million black people. So when you see these numbers, that's what they're going off of, right? Very simple. Now, this is from the AMA Black and LGBTQ plus at the intersection of race, sexual orientation, and identity. Let's show this real. Let me go back. So I know y'all was wondering what the numbers are in Georgia. Let's go here. Oh yeah, I did it all. I pulled it off because I believe Rebecca Lynn Pope lives in Atlanta, and I know a lot of people are wondering what are the numbers in Atlanta. So this is from Georgia, Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Roswell.
Just before it gets into those numbers, just want to let me just a quick explanation. Atlanta is seen as the Mecca, the new Mecca within the last 10 years of the gay population in the United States. Not so much San Francisco, but Atlanta, because that's where the southeast of the United States is where you find most African Americans. So you're going to find a lot of African Americans within the capital of the South, especially within the black community, and that is Atlanta. Even though Atlanta's barely over a million people, but that's besides the point. But that's where you say that the African gay male population lies. So let's see if indeed the numbers bear the fact that more black men, gay black men, reside in Atlanta.
There's only a 4.6% population of LGBTQ members. I know that may shock a lot of people because you all believe that Atlanta is the hub of gay people. And in actuality, yes, there are a lot of black people that migrated to Atlanta because they are gay friendly, which is good for them, right? But it's not as many as y'all thought. Some people were saying that it's 5 or 50% gay in Atlanta. It's not true, right? So these are the actual numbers. Let's pull this up again. And they even break it down by age. Black people own 30% of that number, of that 4.6. White people own 48%. So how did she miss those 48%? Lord. And then the total of all the LGBTQ members in Georgia, Atlanta area, 53% are female, 47% are male, right? Sheesh, Lord have mercy. So women still outnumber men in regards to that number. There are more women who are.
I just want to stop there for a second again. I'm just appearing on the numbers on Talk Live, so I'm talking to you here. That within the African American community in Atlanta, only about, let me see here. Let me just go back a bit. I'll have them redo the stats, but it is a very, very small number of African Americans who identify as part of the LGBTQ community.
Black adults. These are the figures. So they broke it down. So 12%, 18 to 34, 35 to 54, 4.6, 55 to 55 and up, 1.9 in the black community. Remember, this is only pulling from 1.2 million black people. So when you see these numbers, that's what they're going off of, right? Very simple.
Again, we're just rewinding it back just
Now-
to identify this. Let's just move forward.
This is
Just
from
a
the
tad.
AMA Black and LGBTQ plus at the intersection of race, sexual orientation. You all believe that Atlanta is the hub of gay people, and in actuality, yes, there are a lot of black people that
I think-
migrated
I just want
to
to
Atlanta
repeat
because
the
they
number.
are gay
This is
friendly, which is good for
the
them, right?
pretty much the
But
largest black
it's not
populace.
as many as y'all thought. Some
One of the
people were
largest
saying
black
that it's
populated
5
cities
or
in
50%
the United States.
gay in Atlanta. It's not true, right? So these are the actual numbers. Let's pull this up again, and they even break it down by age. Black people own 30% of that number, of that 4.6. White people own 48%. So how did she miss those 48%?
Now I get the numbers. So 4.6% of the gay population in Atlanta, of the population in Atlanta identifies LGBTQ. 4%. 4. Not 40. 4. 4%. And of those, there are more white gay individuals in Atlanta than there are black. There are more white gay men. There are more white LGBTQ community than black LGBTQ community. And Atlanta is supposed to be a black town. Make that make sense, guys. Make that make sense. I'll let it continue.
Lord. And then the total of all the LGBTQ members in Georgia, Atlanta area, 53% are female, 47% are male, right? Sheesh, Lord.
Once again, Rebecca Lynn Pope is wrong. Because the majority of the LGBTQ community are women, not men. Not men. Not men. And if we're only 20% of a of a 4.6 percentage of the Greater Atlanta area community that identify as LGBTQ, and 20% are black, and 40% of them are male, we're not walking the streets with rainbows all over us with black men. Chances are you're more than likely to find a woman than a man who are gay, polyamorous, bisexual, queer. It's so funny. The amount of projection is so rife. It is stunning. It is literally stunning. Let me see if there are any comments in the comment box here. Literally stunning. Let's continue. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Media Man, you're doing your work. Shout out to Media Man for this timely information. Happy Pride. Let's continue.
Have mercy. So women still outnumber men in regards to that number. There are more women who are LGBTQ than men. And also it breaks down the socioeconomic indicators for gay black men and women. This is actually, and also non-LGBTQ. But these numbers are good for any gay members who want to know where they stand in regards to the socioeconomic position. Also in education. And it also covers, hold on, I'm getting a little pinwheel here. Come on, okay. An age distribution of the LGBTQ population, right? Let's go here. I'm going to pull this up. So these are the rankings. By state. I know somebody mentioned San Francisco, but California is on there at number 5. The District of Columbia, aka DC, ranks the highest with a 9.8 percentage of LGBTQ population. And then you guys may not noticed, Oregon's number 2. 3 is Nevada, 4 is Massachusetts. And remember, the total population in these states may differ, but the percentage is of LGBTQ. That's what they're going off of, right? So look here. Georgia ranks 17th out of 20th. California, wow. 5th. What's some other places that you guys mentioned? Wow. You mentioned New York. New York was in there. New York is number 8. 8 at 5.1% of the population. So, and there's a percentage of LGBT percentage with children who are raising children. That's 27% for Georgia. So some of this stuff may have shocked you, because I know we hear, like San Francisco, things of that nature. They didn't break it down. They do break it down by city. If you guys want to see that, I will link it in the description. And I actually put some cities in here just for you all to see. Once again, I highlighted Atlanta, Georgia, 4.6%. So the total, approximately, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me try and make it a little bit bigger so you want.
I'm going to just fast forward just a little bit so we can get to the.
I missed a couple. Hopefully that was informative for you all. So yeah. So and like I said, in my profession, I deal with the LGBTQ population a lot as a public health professional. Yes, we have to see them frequently for the next topic that I'm going to discuss. So hold on one second real quick. I got to go back and see if I missed this. I know I missed some super chat. Sorry, guys. I was cooking a little bit. So, okay. Okay, got that one. Okay, I didn't get R2D1. They shouldn't be used against you to shame another group of men or women, right? So there you go. Sorry about that if you guys felt offended. I'm apologizing on behalf of Rebecca Lynn Pope, since she didn't do that herself, right? So let's continue with the next topic. We going down the list. Like I said, it's maybe a longer live stream. Sorry about that, guys. So this is another thing that's always discussed in the Black community, the HIV rates. This is my realm, and I have some information for you guys in regards to initiatives that I am involved in regards to being a public health professional. So, more than 40% of new HIV infections in the United States occur among Black people. And this was in 2019, guys, so this is not a good look.
I'm just going to fast forward here a bit, guys, and then because we're going to talk about HIV diagnosis, which is a serious topic, but again, it goes against what we're discussing today.
Black women community. So I am effectively trying to help Black women as much as I can. I am doing my part. I'm not just up here sitting here talking for no reason. I'm trying to help. Like I said, I love Black women, no matter if you're straight or gay. I'm going to do my part because I am a professional and I have that community love for my fellow women. Those are my sisters. I know some people don't think so, even though they may hate us. That doesn't negate the fact that I'm going to take care of them when I can.
Just letting you know that this the media man is indeed a doctor, and he's within the healthcare community, and he is part of the initiative to help out those infected with HIV. Again, he's doing his utmost to stem the tide of infections within the I believe he's in Atlanta himself, and stem the tide of those within the African American community, and he should be commended because again, you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy, and just that's more of a serious topic. But again, I just wanted to skip over that, not to say that it is a topic that should be neglected, but with regards to the show itself, we're just going to glance over the idea. But again, he is a doctor, and he does help out with initiatives, and he has certification from the President of the United States for his work within the community with regards to healthcare initiatives. So let's continue.
As a professional, right? I'm doing my part. So, and let me see here. We'll go over some other initiatives real quick. So, the Ready, Set, Prep campaign in December a public-private partnership to increase PrEP uptake by making PrEP available at no cost to individuals without prescription drug coverage. So we're doing a lot. The
Okay.
Jumpstart sites was in Cherokee Nation amongst those Indian Native
I'm
Americans.
just checking to see if there's anything else involving said proofs of
5
such.
pillars. Pillar number 1 is to improve food
Yes.
access and affordability. We are working on that.
I believe this is it. So I think we're gonna stop it there.
Number 7 has been around for years. I don't see any black women claiming she got them married or in a successful relationship and narcissistic personality disorder. We hear this a lot in these spaces, so I just want to debunk some myths so we can have this clipped up so you guys can have it for yourselves.
Okay, so I think that's it for now. I think we've covered the most of it.
Man, I'm not even going to
But
try.
again, it's just letting you know that I'm going to focus back on me right now. Because again, it's I just want to get this one piece of information right about, well, again. Yes, that information right here. Yes. Here he is. So, again, if you're watching on Talk Live, we're just gonna let all these facts, data, and statistics sink in. 1.2 million people within a populace of 40 million African Americans identify within the African American LGBTQ community. 1.2 million, which is 3% of the population, right?
You already know. I just stated it. And also,
you did state it.
More.
So just going back to this point right here.
Six 61% as opposed to 39% of that community is black men. So, who's more gay? It's black women. So I don't know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring it back to myself right now. I'm trying to keep this short and sweet. I think we've shown all the data, all the facts, data, statistics that you need to know. Let me bring it back to myself. Back to the phone cam. Just over an hour. We had an hour of proof that indeed black men aren't on the down low for the most part. We're not. There are those who do, but they are very much in the minority of black men. Remember, 96% of black men are out of jail. So let's combine the statistics here. 96% of black men are out of jail. Actually, hold on. I spoke too soon. Let me just go back to the browser right quick, because there's one bit of information that rings true here. This one bit right about here. There it is. %96 of black men are out of jail. So you can do away with that trope. That most black men are in jail. They are. 96% of them are out of it. We proved that on another Talk Live. But tonight was all about the LGBTQ community and how much black men there are within it. Happy Pride. Of a 1.2 million, and these are 2021 stats, 1.2 million people who identify as LGBTQ, men and women, within that community. 61% of them are women. most of them being young women. I think about 60%, as we're seeing in the statistic right here. 61, I would say 57. Yeah, 57%, the majority of them, of those who identify themselves as LGBTQ, are under the age of 35. 54%. So we don't exactly have the numbers of those who are lesbian, straight, or such and such and such. They're all part of the community. You can consider them queer, you can consider them trans, you can consider them bisexual, you consider them lesbian. But 57% of the African American community that are women who are gay, part of the LGBTQ, are under the age of 35. Under the age of 35. And we can safely assume that most of those women identify themselves as bi. We can safely assume that. We wouldn't see all these, and this is a trend, I say it's a trend. This is a trend that has been going on, I would say, for the last 10 to 15 years. More women identify themselves as bisexual rather than heterosexual. Some say they're tri-lesbians, but again, I don't want to, cast aspersions of any kind. But most of them identify as bi. So I consider this a group that, for the most part, I say the majority of the time, would tend to end up with men at the end of the day, if given the choice. If they can find the perfect man, they would be with them right now. But since they can't, and since we have, as seen here, 44% of LGBTQ women and 45% of non-LGBTQ women having children, the tendency is they didn't get pregnant by themselves. They got pregnant through a man. And since they've had these children, and since they've had a taste of said community, the LGBTQ community, they identify themselves as bi. I would say a good majority of them identify as bi. There are rarely few lesbian women. I would say not the majority of women who identify as LGBTQ in the community. I would say the more or less they identify themselves as polyamorous or bisexual or queer. But for the most part, they're bisexual, especially in this day and age, especially with younger women, because it allows them to dabble without giving of themselves into the community. And chances are, and I believe this is true because it's happened in my life. More or less, the amount of women who are considered bisexual who make up the most part of LGBTQ community, especially in African American society, tend to end up with men at the end of the day. Because gender roles tend to be a little more defined. And, the protection and provision of a man can never be replaced. So, those are the facts, guys. More women than men tend to be part of the LGBTQ community. 61% to 39%. They tend to be gay. So all of that rhetoric stating that there are more down low men than anyone else is a lie. You can hardly find African American males who are gay. But you can always find women who are gay, or consider themselves gay, or consider themselves bi. For the most part, they're bi. Because that's the new buzzword these days, especially amongst the young. It allows them to dabble without giving a full commitment. And more often than not, those bi women tend to end up with men, if they so choose. So we can put to rest once and for all that the African diaspora community are plagued by down low men, because there's hardly anyone to be found. We tend to be in the minority of those within the LGBTQ community. There it is. So, if you have a Rebecca Lynn Pope in your life telling you that black men are either gay or in jail, you retort to them, number one, 96% of black men are out of jail. Number two, the majority of those within the alphabet community are women. Number three, more African American male, more within the African American community tend to be married, and they're men. So it's not as if we're not out there. 51% of black men are single and childless. 64% of them in the middle class. And most of them have nothing wrong with them. They're out here. And they're not gay. They're straight. You just choose not to find them. Or you make excuses for not seeing them. But they're there. They're all around you. So, for the likes of Rebecca Lynn Pope and these modern women who choose to disparage us, black males such as myself, I'd ask you to refrain from doing so. Refrain. Because you don't have the facts, you don't have the data, you don't have the statistics. I've just shown you myself. There it is. And the study was conducted by women. For your elucidation. So we're doing just fine, guys, because more black men tend to be married. More black men and less black men tend to have children. And life goes on. But let it be said, we are not the public contributing to the pinkification of the nation. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. It was a very happy Pride. It was a very educational day today. And I hope this puts to rest a lot of the Rebecca Lynn Popes that are out there stating that there are so many black men on the down low and so many black men in jail, because we've dissuaded both lies. We put to rest both lies. They're not dead, they're not in jail, and they're not gay. You just choose not to see them. Or we choose not to see you. Because of your decisions. Sorry. Those are the facts. So, we end on that note. The views are stunning. And they're real. And life goes on, right? Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. We are in an hour and a half into the show. But before you go, realize that we have a few more shows to come this week. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Thank you for allowing me to dispel the rumors of black men on the down low. We're not on the down low, guys. We're not. We tend not to be gay. We're not. Look amongst yourselves, ladies, and you'll find your LGBTQ representative. It's a lovely night tonight. You know, I'm going to discover this new fragrance here, General Fluidity Silver right here. Fantastic fragrance. If you ever have a chance of having a sniff of it, please do, because this is gold dust. A summer banger, as they say. But we're going to go and we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. I just wanted to, and shout out to Media Man. Please like and subscribe to him. He is doing wonderful work in these YouTube streets, dispelling a lot of these tropes, lies, and disparagements of African American men and African diaspora men altogether. There are issues within us, but being gay is not one of them. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. We're live, and thank you to duntalk.com, DUNTALK.com. Spring summer line out now. And like, subscribe, and comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. This will be queued up. This will be played out there. Because again, we don't wish to hate. We only wish to educate. Here on Talk Talk Live. And I thank you for joining me. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to enjoy this new fragrance I have here. And I'm running low on my carbonated water. But all the better for it. Thank you very much. And we'll be back either tomorrow or Thursday with a new topic. And it was a really fun night. I really enjoyed that. Anyways, and again, happy Pride. No hate. And we're going to go forward, and we're just trying to make the world a better place with the truth. And I thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. We're going to get out of here on Instagram. Thank you, and we will see you either tomorrow or Thursday. We'll see about how things go and if I'm up to putting up another show. But one of those 2 days, you will see me again. Thank you very much, and good night from Toronto. And to my people here on YouTube, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me and reach out and watch. And thank you very much for all the shout-outs that I'm getting these days. But like and subscribe, people. I can't say it enough. Like and subscribe. More technology is on the way. Greater changes on the way. But again, I'm doing it for you, and I do it for me because I love what I do here on Talk Talk Live. And I look forward to speaking to you all again very, very, very soon. Probably tomorrow or Thursday. But thank you very much. And like and subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. And we'll speak soon. More shorts, more little clips to come. And we'll speak to you.